So, you guys saw, or maybe not, but I'm pretty sure I alerted this. I said, we all know this low got taken from last Friday. I was looking for these down close candles that took the low to get closed above. We got that after that 4 hour close, that 10 a.m. close on Monday. So this validates a continuation and into our high up here. So I'm expecting Wednesday to draw into this most likely. But what I was looking at this morning, so this is our thesis, right? Like we have a reason for price to go higher. So that's the only reason you should ever be trading. And also look here, right? Now this would be our propulsion block because this is our daily order block here, right? Now we have two down close candles. They get closed above. And now this should give us a more explosive move. And we will most likely be targeting this high. But easiest draw is here, right? So we have our narrative. We're looking for higher prices. And now I can show you guys what I was looking at. So once again, oh, this wasn't be here. We have down close candles being formed on the 4 hour. And we have our order block being tapped. And this was during London session. So hourly chart after 4 hour, we have the 3 a.m. low getting taken when our key level is being tapped. That 4 hour order block, that's just the orange line. And you can see we have midnight here, a small opposing run. It's exactly what we want to be seeing. And if we're putting in a London reversal for a New York continuation, this is exactly what we want to be seeing, right? 4 a.m. reversal. Anywhere from 2 to 5 a.m. ideally is where your low gets put in. And once again, no deep retracements, and that's exactly what we got. So now we have a potential reversal confirmation with the change in the state of delivery here at 6 a.m. And there's also SMTs at the low. And that is why I trusted this. So you can see ES looks as the same as NASDAQ, but we look at YM. And this is where YM once again was the stronger pair. C3AM, 4AM. That's how I know that this low is protected and that the London low is put in. And you can see here, changing the state of delivery, same thing. Open low at 7 and then price goes higher. So the trade that I took, now that we have all of this confirmed and we have our lowest hanging fruit is this high up here. So I went to the 30-minute and I alerted to you guys this morning that this is that 30-minute order block that I was looking at. We can draw that out too. But ideally, I wanted this hourly unicorn to be my setup. But I understood that price did not have to come back down here. And so what I based my trade off of was the 30-minute fair value gap SMT, which was right here. So we have our fair value gap getting put in. And once again, this is exactly what gave me confidence to get in the trade. We do not want deep retracements. This is not needed to know, but this is what's called an institutional order flow entry drill. It's just a fancy way of saying that price barely wicks into the fair value gap and then goes higher. And the SMT occurred right here. You can see here's a 7 o'clock fair value gap, 7 o'clock fair value gap. ES fails to get in there. NASDAQ does. So now what do I look for? 5 or 3-minute CSD. So ideally I would have entered right here. Oh, actually no, I wouldn't have. Okay, cool. Because I was at the gym when this was going on, and then I got home later. But you can see the 3-minute looks the exact kind of way, same thing as the 5. So boom, I did take this on the 5-minute just because it was a little cleaner. And there's also this breaker here. This would be your low, your high, your lower low, and your higher high. And for breakers, you want the candle closure above. For me, that's how I trade them. But regardless, all we're focusing on is the down close candles. I entered right off the breaker high, and my stop loss was at 17, or my stop loss was right here. It was on the or it was on the micro, so the numbers are a little off, but my stop loss was right at this candle's low. Why am I trusting this? Institutional order flow entry drill, fair value gap SMT, 5-minute change in state of delivery. But the most important part is that 9:30 is coming, and I know that the manipulation and all of the damage was already done prior to 9:30, and we're very close to our draw on liquidity. This external high, 9:30 should take us right to the draw, and you guys saw my executions of what happened, and I got out for 2R a little bit above this high. So as soon as we took out this price, or this external high here, because why? Because it's a external high. It's a relative swing, and there's large space between these highs. So this is a logical area for price to have some sort of reaction at. But it wasn't my 2R, so I'm not taking profit there. I'm hoping that price gets above this level. And since my 2R wasn't far away, it's at like 89, something like that, I got hit. And that was it. The entry looked like this. Boom. Stop loss was here, and 2R was right there. That's why I didn't alert this morning, because it was a little bit of an aggressive trade. But that was all the logic behind it. Do you require that 4-hour close above the 21,420 order block line that you drew to go long? Let me delete everything. 21,420. This right here? Is this what you're talking about? Yeah, I think that's where you drew it, the start of this call. Yeah, so you can see that price never got to the body, right? Price never used the opening price of the down close candles. Price just used the high, which is fine. Like the entire thing, ICT teaches that the high and the opening price are the most sensitive. And in this case, once again, the daily is in expansion phase, so we're not expecting deep retracements. So all it did was use the high. But a required change in the state of delivery, all you need is a candle closure above the last down close candle, or the last series of down close candles opening price to get closed above. So in this case right here, this candle validates this as an order block because it took this low. Got you, Cass. Do we consider the extra hours price action equally important as that to regular market hours? I tend to only look at candles in PA that happen during the market hours for drawing liquidity levels. Yeah, no, it's very important. Your London highs and lows and Asia highs and lows are going to be the majority of the time, those are where you're taking profit. That's how I trade, at least, like for the most part. And also today, which helped again as a draw, is that 18 o'clock, right, is that the new day open. And you can see that new day open was paired with an external high. So now we have two forms of liquidity above. And we also have, again, this external high up here, all acting as magnets. Do you have an indicator for other session highs and lows? Guys, I do, and I'm not giving it to anybody because you guys should not be lazy and you should be marking them out. Your London session is from 2 to 5 a.m. and Asia is from 20 to 0 or midnight. Do not be lazy. Learn them, get them down, and mark them out every day. It's the only way you'll learn. I want to go over if you didn't catch this, I want to go over the other trade. 2 a.m. EST. Your charts should always be in EST. If you're trying to trade ICT concepts and your charts are not on New York time, you're going to have a very hard time. So UTC4. But yes, 2 a.m. EST. And really, 3 a.m. if you're going to be trading, you really shouldn't be trading London until 3 a.m. That's UK. No, that's not UK. I'm gonna go over the 10 a.m. 3 a.m. trading is no. That's why I tell you guys I don't trade overnight. If I missed a move, I missed a move. I don't look at the overnight session because I'll never be up at 3 a.m. trading. I don't know whose life that would work for unless you're obviously in a different country. Then it's not actually 3 a.m. for you. So so a lot of people are like scared when they see this rejections, especially at the highs and such. And I saw a lot of people saying bearish SMT at the highs because of here, right off the open, and we were inside of a 4-hour gap. Guys, all of this is here. All of these PD rays, they're all just speed bumps until this objective is met. Once your draw is met, so relative swing, a swing with a level of importance that you know could have a reaction at, until this is met, do not fade any of this move. There's zero logic in fading any of this. These 4-hour fair value gaps will not hold. The SMTs will not hold. Bearish SMTs in a bullish market get faded every time. Bullish SMTs in a bearish market get faded every time. So just don't get caught up in that. But this is the trade that I would have taken if I didn't take little bit of a pre-market trade. So yes, this draw was hit, but understanding that we have 10 a.m. news, this high is most likely not going to cause some sort of reversal since the objective is still no longer met, right? Logical areas, again, to expect a speed bump at and a potential retracement, but no reason to be fearful and understanding that this is the ultimate objective, most likely for the week. So, going into the later time frame, or the little bit of a lower time frame, here's 9:30. We can mark that out, and then we have our high taken. We have our high that got taken right at 9:30, right? But we know we were expecting higher prices, and this is acting as a draw. You don't need this high. All you need is 2R or more. So 30-minute, nothing. Hourly, nothing, right? There's a fair value gap, but ideally this doesn't even get tapped. But you're waiting for 10 a.m. news if you missed the pre-mark or the 9:30 long up to here. So here's 10 a.m. We can mark out 10 a.m. We can mark out 10 a.m.'s opening price. And we can go to we have our hourly fair value gap that was marked out. And we can go to the 15-minute. No fair value gaps or anything. But on the 5-minute, we have a little something, right? We have a 5-minute fair value gap. And ideally, this here should act as some sort of support. I'm not sure if so this is exactly what I was looking at. So we have a small little pullback after this high got hit, right? 9:30. And you can see here's the 925 low. Gets taken on ES and on AQ, but look over here, A45. I'm looking at the wrong SMT. I'm retarded. This is confusing. So the 3 minutes easier to see. Right here. This is the SMT. See this low? 951. NASDAQ never gets taken. ES takes it. So now we have, again, 10 a.m. closure. 4-hour candle. New 4-hour candle being created, right? We're expecting continuation. How do we want a 4-hour bullish candle to form? Open, low, high, close. Now we have SMT at what? Key time, 10 a.m. news driver. And what do we wait for? Lower time frames, changing the state of delivery. 3 or 5 minute. You can use both. The 3 was just a little nicer in my opinion. Or you can use an inversion too, if you like inversions. You can see right here, price closes above. There's your entry. Stop at the low or the candle body. But in this case, I use changing the state of delivery. So I would wait for this right here. There's your entry. And in this case, since the inversion was used as support and we took a low and then closed above, this is where I would put my stop loss because I now have 3 PD rays in front of my stop. Really 4, right? We have this down close candle as our order block as our entry. We have these down close candles that should act as support. We have this inversion here, and we also have this fair value gap here. And if you want to look at the nitty gritty, we also have this small little bit of an inversion here. So we have all these PD rays protecting our stop loss. And if we just target 2R, again, 2R is very far, this 2R is very far from the draw, right? But we don't need the whole move. We're just here to make money. We're not here to be right. And we get hit. Just trusting that the volatility driver, the SMT, and that the daily candle is going to continue to print higher, and the 4 hour is going to expand because we still have unfinished business above. How do we trust it? The SMT at the lows. And you can see prices very smallly tapped into this 5 minute fair value gap. Once again, no deep retracements. That's it. And if you're looking at it on the 5 minute, same thing. Closure above. Right here. CSD. Entry. I'd use my stop loss if I would have entered on the 5 would have been the 50% of this wick. That's where my stop loss would have been. So exactly where it is, and then 2R once again. So you can see this has a little bit of a less risk to, this has a little bit of a worse risk to reward. You'd need price to get a little higher than the 3 minute. So that's why I kind of flip between the 3 and the 5. Could you please review the market drawdown that started at 2 p.m.-ish today, and when price reversed at 2:20 p.m., what level might have tapped? It's not, I mean, I'll look, but it's not, it's just kind of like a time thing, right? Like if price doesn't just have to continue to go all day. Like it can, certainly, right? But we already had, you have to ask yourself, like, how realistic is price? How large is the daily candle really going to be? Like, yes, it can be huge, and today's was almost 400 points, but a majority of the move had already happened overnight, and then the little bit of the 10 a.m. candle, right? And we know we have more high impact news Thursday and Friday and Wednesday. So you just kind of have to like taper your expectations. And sometimes price will just run all day. But that's why you want to be trying to be getting in as early as possible. Not early as in you need to FOMO an entry. I'm talking about early as in time related. Because the later the day gets, the more uncertainty there is. For me, at least. Especially when I've already seen a large move like this. The last thing that I'm looking at, if I haven't caught any of this, the last thing I'm looking at is more continuation. Just be content that you didn't lose any money. But I'll look. Thank you for explaining how to mark out the 4 hour order block using the highest wick of the middle candle. Oh, you're welcome, bro. Yeah, it's fine. Do you trade live? What do you mean live? Like live for you guys? Or on a live account? Yes, live for us. No, not at the time being, but Swami has before. It makes me a little nervous. I don't know why. Nothing really changes. I mean, I've started trying to alert for you guys, but I do want to do that, especially whenever this ever goes paid. That's what I feel like people get their money's worth for, and nobody really does that. All right, I'm gonna end the recording.